Okay, so we're going to use Silastic 3481 silicone with a red silicone hardener. We're just going to take a mould of a simple ornament just for demonstration. First of all, what we'll need to do is construct a box around the model that we're going to take the mould from, and this box needs to be roughly about an inch bigger than the part, either all the way around, and an inch higher to get full support from the rubber. If you're doing a large scale object, you might want to look into adding thickening agents to the silicone, which we also do, and just brushing on the silicone, laying it up with a few layers, and then making a fiberglass jacket for it. But that goes into the more advanced mould making with silicone rubber. Here we're just going to show you the basics. So we've just got a simple small object, and the box can be made from just about anything that's non-porous and free of contaminant. So we could just construct a box out of fiberglass sheeting, which we have in abundance in our workshop. So we could just build a wall around them. Obviously this box would be too short because it doesn't quite cover the actual object we want to cast. So that would have to be at least another couple of inches higher. You could just make your walls a lot bigger than what you need them and just fill up past the ornament, just mark a height. That's usually the best way of doing it, really. You can also use any kind of container, so you could take something like a mixing cup, cut the bottom out, pop it over the top, and as long as it's bigger than the object, you could just use that and seal the bottom to stop the silicone from running out. Some people do use food containers. Just be careful, make sure they're fully washed out first, free of contaminant, and that it's totally dry before you use it. Because this is quite small, I'm just going to go for a very easy, quick method, and that's just building it up with plasticine. When you get a new slab of plasticine, it's ideal because you can actually peel off strips to make the wall. If you recycle an old plasticine, you're going to have to knead it and create a wall. I'm just going to push that in place. And this object is quite heavy, so its own weight will keep it in place. If it was lighter, you would probably want to glue that down and also seal any gaps around it, but because it's brass, it's quite heavy, so it's not going to go anywhere. And make sure you've got no gaps whatsoever for the silicone to leak out of. The slightest little gap, and you're going to lose all your silicone in a massive puddle on your bench. Okay, so as you can see, we're past the figurine that we want to cast now. Just about done. Another good product to use as well if you're building a wall around an object, which I've seen other users do, and I've seen it in guidebooks as well, is you can use Lego. That's really good for this kind of thing because you can build up the walls and you can actually just manipulate it so it's just the right size around the object, and then you just seal the bottom with plasticine. And the good thing about Lego is you can just dismantle it and use it again for your next one. It's quite a good product for doing this sort of thing. I'm just going around it again, just double checking that there's no voids whatsoever. Everything's pushed right down and all your seams are totally closed. because you don't want to be wasting any of this silicone. And have a few bits of plasticine out handy, just kneaded quite soft, just ready, so that if you do have a leak, you can quickly just push it on and plug it up. Because if you leave it too late and you've got a big smear of silicone, the plasticine just won't stick to it, and you're not going to stop that leak. So just have bits of plasticine just ready, and just knead them into kind of big flat patches really. Right, now it's time to mix the silicone. It's a 10:1 mixture by weight. I'm going to take the base silicone first, and I'm going to guesstimate round about 500 grams for this. For a 10:1 mix, 50 grams of hardener to go with that. We're mixing this in a clear container. As you can see, from the top it looks like it's mixed in quite well. If you look closely, you can see some white streaks there. And the good thing is, because we're using a clear pot, you can see that's not quite mixed in the sides there. So if this had been a solid container such as this, we wouldn't be able to see that. So I can't stress enough that you really need to mix this thoroughly before you use it. See, I'm just pulling it in from the sides and into the middle. From the sides into the middle. Just keep going until you've got a nice solid colour. And bring it up from the bottom as well. Okay, once you're happy with your mix, you can start pouring. Now, I kind of estimated 500 grams. I've got a feeling it's going to be short. You don't need to worry about that. You can just mix up some more and top it up. And when you pour it, don't pour it directly onto the object you're casting, because you'll just trap a load of air. Pick a spot at the bottom of the mould and just pour it as a very thin strand, and just let it just rise up and find its own way. Right, so I ran out there, but it doesn't matter. Like I say, you've got plenty of time with this product. The first mix hasn't cured, so I've just done another thorough mix. And I'm just topping that up. It's a good thing to remember, and it cuts down on wastage, because if you mix too much, unfortunately you can't use it again. If you don't mix enough, you can always top it up. See, that's just going to go over there, so I'll just pop that on there. Okay, and we'll leave that to cure. Check the data sheet for the curing times on the product. It's all temperature dependent as well. So consider your working temperature. You need really good, decent working temperature to be working with this. Good room temperature of around about anywhere between 15 to 25 degrees C. When I do a cast with this, I tend to just view it as if I'm leaving it overnight. That's the best way to go to full hardness. So I'll come back to that tomorrow when it's fully cured. Right, so we're ready to take this RTV silicone mould out now. We've left it overnight. It's all nice and firm and hard. Just going to peel off the plasticine. Just cutting away some excess silicone that's leaked under. You can also avoid that by, when you put your object down, just sealing the bottom with a little bit of plasticine. But because this is made of brass, it was quite heavy. It wasn't a lot going to get under there. There we go. So from this RTV silicone rubber, you can produce resin casts. So you can use polyurethane, you can also use polyester casting resin, you could also use jesmonite and plaster, any real kind of cold casting materials. It wouldn't really survive hot castings, so avoid those, purely just cold casts for this material.